It was originally.
Because the judge would have to I signed contracts. I had a signed contract from the state. That was I had a case. I wanted what I do was fairly mine. Exactly what the
Tomorrow, yeah, please. I'm just going to read it tomorrow. Because I'll have it tomorrow. No, you're welcome. So I'll see you tomorrow. Sorry.
I signed it, never gave it. I said it doesn't mean anything.
Like I said,
But I understand it's used. When I pointed it out, when I saw why went back, that was Wednesday. No, I went back, I said I would go back Tuesday. Wednesday, the Monday, Thursday, the Supreme Court.
So are you saying that prior to last Tuesday,
No, before that they had said they had changed the date. I realized that there was an increase. I'm not saying I couldn't realize.
and at what point did you
I did on that side. Just slow numbers pretty large. I was more annoyed that they were rolling me back to my pay in the days I had. I had about 5 more years of days I spent. I rolled all the way back there, and I said, see what when they did that. And when I realized, you know, it's kind of came out at that point where we were listening about the
I can tell you that.
I said, well, I had to go to and my value was $150,000. That's what I did. I don't think there's anyone in the world who could have got me to say, I'm going to give up $90,000. I gave it up because everybody said, I respect it. I did not want my teacher to have a CT and everybody else on my face.
I have the copy of the letter. She almost wanted to take the letter back. She wrote it. This is what's on record. Sure. Okay. And it sort of reflects some of our things. I mean, we didn't get together on this.
They told me to sign the contract. They told the people working on the contract that I was having to sign the contract. I have no contract.
But did you at any point?
Take a look at it.
Now, the other thing that we asked
I looked at it, put it in the drawer. I never thought about it.
Even though you realized that.
I feel like the numbers. I never actually went back and figured it out. But it would take me 5 years. Right, so, and they were using my 2006. So I saw my
Well, I'll speak to the North Bergen Commissioners and see if they can
my salary.
We don't even know if we will.
I saw it.
It's just gives us the ability to consider
So you know you're getting us.
ideas that
I can't say, I can say, this is how it is. I'm going to work, never thought about it, no desire to retire, not planning to retire, never gave me a second right. You know, what the majority of party, if that number would have helped, I would have to make a decision what to do with that. Right? But I wasn't making a decision, there was no decision.
Yes or no? Did you realize?
we may not.
Not at that time, no.
So when did you first realize?
I think one of the attorneys came in
We would
and
consider
said,
mixed use residential.
I don't remember when they did, and I just
Call for a hearing?
Right, but that hotel
honestly
came
don't
in
recall when they came in. Somebody realized it later on.
for
And,
the development. Then
you
there
know,
was a consideration
I never
of
looked at it
retail
again.
and residential. City place.
What would I have done if my retirement, if I was to retire this year? I don't know. But
Again, is
I
really
can only
not
tell
that
you
we're
that
committed
once
to it.
it became aware, when I took my old contract in 2006, 7, 8, 9, 3-year contract, you're not allowed to say yes, not right. See, that was the other part of it was valid. You get a yearly contract with my phone. I had a 3-year contract that was valid because it was signed. That's when I went and we had that call. So this is what the contract said. This is their contract. I'm taking this contract. Went through the court and said, recognize this contract.
Just one last question. Mario, I guess
And then there's no more questions from me. Want to talk to Larry Blanch?
what I just want to know.
I mean,
Basically, his
we're way out there.
No, what he was saying, right here, you heard him at the meeting, what he said is that the board changed the contract in my favor. The Board of Ed never changed the contract in my favor. The Board of Ed contract was the 1/600. The state changed the contract. So he was totally off base. He was totally wrong and didn't know. And when you talk to him, you realize he's seriously off base. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
one thing that's better is that he believes that
He believes. And someone can get me to take $180,000 off that I don't want to take off. I took it off before the Supreme Court ruled. That's the critical thing. No law held until that Supreme Court ruled. And that ruled Thursday. Wednesday, that money was gone.
as far as his suggestion.
He said, you want to talk to him? He knows nothing. He shows he knows nothing. And his facts were all wrong today. And they were pointed out. We were dealing with the press. We showed the press that contract 6 to 9. They ignored it. They ignored how the state changed it. They ignored it. It was really bad journalism. And I'm hoping I'm not going to see it here again. Bad journalism, and therefore the letter on the paper, they explain step by step what happened. If you go to the journal yesterday, you'll find the attorney's breakdown of how it all came to be. It's not the way they said it.
But,
Going forward,
let's go back to this.
just for my records, I'd like to copy of your.
Are you gonna, so you're
We'll
gonna
have to
go
go over that.
Yeah, we can
Go for that.
work on that.
Well,
What do you think?
Okay. What were your papers you have? Everybody else will come.
I don't know.
It's on the 2006 contract. I want you to see the 2006 to 2009 contract. That's the one I'm talking about. That refers to the Council of Administrators. That's 1/600. That's the contract. The board resolution that we have now refers to that contract. That's the 2007 year that the Supreme Court would have held me to, but they didn't hold me to until the day after I gave the money that I accepted that contract. Okay? It's
that would be if we potentially.
the 2006 to 2009 contract covers the year June 8, 2007.
Well,
That's the
the planning board
contract.
would hear any new development that would.
Okay, that's the contract that would be
They
held
would go to the board.
valid by the Supreme Court ruling on
But
Thursday.
the existing.
Okay? That's the one that on Wednesday, the Board of Ed, that on Tuesday I told the board, prepare a resolution to accept that contract, so there's no question about what I'm getting. Even with the Supreme Court ruling, I had a fair chance in court with a signed contract approved by the state to take that higher amount. I indicated I will not do that. I will not go in that direction. I'm accepting the contract, the one that I wanted, the same one that the teachers have. All right? And that's how it was. And the fact that the press is looking at me, or maybe my political opposition, who are here trying to win an election, which they never will. The fact is that they would say it, I find very disturbing. The facts of the case show exactly where they are. The facts of what we did. And the Star Ledger had the facts. Including, we finally got them something, a letter that said we've complied with your request. That was the one thing we were missing. When they got that, they realized there was no art.
One last question. Why did it take so long though? Because you said you were aware prior to.
There was nothing taking long. There was a contract sitting in a file. I wasn't paying attention to it. I wasn't planning on retiring. There was nothing to it. It meant nothing. I knew they had cut down.
The state insisted on it. It had to do it.
No, the press wants to understand what I want to say. I'm very down on the press right now because I have found them to be not forthcoming and not accepting proof that we showed them when all this started, that what my contract actually said.
But you understand, the state had insisted on it. The argument, the debate was over at the state's insistence that this board be in. They wouldn't approve a contract without it. Without a contract, he was unemployed. You got it?
That part I understand, but at the same
So
time.
what was you supposed to do? Once you brought it to your attention, you submit the other one, the same one with the teachers on it. They say, no, we're not going to do
But
that.
the fact that
They
last
told
week.
our negotiators to pull the clause out, the one that had gone over. They told them, pull the clause out, put the other one in. That's what happened, and they did it.
So now you're suggesting you should have brought it to their attention. It was already their
Okay,
attention.
so,
They're
so
insisting.
I'm just trying to understand the process.
They maybe
So if
didn't
that-
understand
if that's
what they
the
did.
case, then if you're saying that was because the state insisted on that, then, okay, I understand that. But if that's the case, then how would it have been possible for you to insist last week that the board had?
Because now the state realized they made a mistake.
And now they realized, now they were coming forward, they were talking about 2007, and I
You said they didn't
said,
realize that until.
Just recently, they realized they made a mistake.
they
That's
fumbled for
it.
2 days. They
This
wouldn't
was
talk for 2
entirely the
days.
state's error. The state's insistence, the state which has the power to take his job, insists that you must take your clause out, the same clause all the teachers have had for 30, 40 years, and put our clause in. Then, later on, they say, oops, we made a mistake. The Nick said, fine.
But if you realized, even before the state.
It did, look, it didn't matter. When it came down to it, I could have gone to court. I could have gone to court to keep that contract. I don't think there's a judge in the world that would have said a contract by me signed by the state is invalid. That contract was valid. I look back and said, but this is the contract that I always worked on in the school system. This is the one I want. I voluntarily gave that up. And if they after the Supreme Court ruled, but there's no but. After the Supreme Court ruled, maybe I would have had less grounds to stand on, maybe. But there was still a signed contract by the state that took there. I could show, Your Honor, here's the clause we submitted. Here's the clause they told us to pull out. Here's the clause that's here. Okay? They did it. They made the mistake. They should have come forward to say they made the mistake. They wouldn't. All right? They wouldn't. All the way till the end, they were fumbling. They wouldn't even answer
would
the
not
phone.
even admit that they had insisted on the
Okay,
change.
just play devil's advocate there. Someone
but I
could
think
say that you could have made that request prior to last week.
You can write whatever you want. It really doesn't matter. The people of the town know. There were headlines that said it. There's a board resolution that said it. There's a contract from 2006 to 2009 we can show. All these things. You want to go on and make your case the way the Star Ledger did? Go right ahead. Go right ahead. It wouldn't be true, and you know it's not true. You want to see a 2006 and 9 contract? Come up and take a look at it. I have no problem. You don't have to open it because I have a copy of it. All right? I'll show you the contract that we had since 1974. The contract they demanded existed.
Do you have that right now?
No, not here.
Okay, so we can get it for you in the morning.
You can take a look at it. Then tell me where the error was. And then tell me the contract I have is not valid. You know it is. You know, it's not even working. I'm sorry.
Good night, Chris. Really nice meeting you.
See, my problem is he's not even allowing me to get my question out fully. You know, every time I try to start asking the question, they start answering something else. I understand.
He's a guy here, but over here he's a school worker.
But that's a public employee position, right? Which means.
But if you said to the union, if you said to the union, even to the union, you said, no, this is what you have to do. What do you do about that? We accept everything the state tells us. They tell us you're going to cut out pay here, or you're going to, whatever they tell you, you do. So how do you do that? What do you say to the state about that when everybody else is 1/260? The state, in the state law, it says, well, you have to be 1/260. That's the law the way it's written right now. Look it up. He has no choice. Actually, what the state did is illegal. By letting him go back to 1/600.
But I'm saying, can you bring this to the, you know, he didn't request a change back to correct it to his rules.
You're not hearing me. You didn't dismiss the point. The state law is that you have to be 1/260.
But by him making that request last week, either he's.
Because he's getting political. You guys are killing him in the newspaper. But the state law today, look at it, the state law today, it's the law. I'm not saying it's a request.
No, but okay, the point I'm trying to ask and get clarification on is, by his action of last week, going to the board and asking them to, switch him back to his old contract, by virtue of that action, isn't he acknowledging that that is more, more legal, more correct than what the state is? And then if that's the case, he could have made that point prior to last week, if he was so confident that he had a good case.
The state law, did you hear me?
Yeah.
Look it up. The state law says right now, it has to be 1/260.
Yeah, I understand that.
What he did is illegal. That board can't put it back to 1/600.
What he did was illegal.
That was a court, yeah, it's illegal to do it. Exactly, it's the law.
So you're saying now that
Well, the court case changed everything. But before that, even if he wanted to, he couldn't do it against the law. It's an interesting thing. See, he's one of the few people, I think, and most contracts are 1/220. So the state wanted to increase that to 1/260. They put it in the law. See what happened? Didn't have a choice with that. There was no, he talked to you like there's a choice. There's no choice.
But then he went to the board and requested this change back before the Supreme Court decision, which means you're saying that he went and made it illegal.
He can't even do that without the board. His board can't do it without the state commission. Even that.
But, I mean, it's in I'm looking at the timeline. So he went to the board on Wednesday, and the Supreme Court decision came on Thursday. So you're saying that he went to the board and made an illegal request before this?
I don't think it was illegal. I think what he did is ask his board to reduce the salary back to where it was. Now, who's going to argue about that piece? Anybody in their right mind? It wasn't illegal in the sense that he was illegal. I'm saying to you is that this, reduce the sick time days. Well, listen, that's compensation. I mean, a lot of times, that's another thing that nobody takes into account, that the educators don't get disability. If you don't have any sick time, you get sick, you're on your own. You know that? Like you get disability. Teachers don't get that. So there's some reason for it. I don't know.
Why don't I look into this and see if we can get anything for you?
Okay, I filed a story tonight.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, your name is?
Gardrula.
Frank Gardrula, he's a commissioner.
Oh, okay, I think we were looking before. On a phone. But, well, okay, let me just go over again my questions.
Look up that thing about 1/260.